Studio time. Headed to meet my Uber. I'm always late. Always late. He's here. I always knew music was what it was that I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to sing. I always knew I wanted to be on stage and be the performer. And people, after you get to a certain point, people are just like, don't you think you need to change career paths, or don't you think you need to look at some other alternatives? And for a minute, my answer was like, that's a possibility. But at this point, I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Because that's what gives me life. That's the reason I wake up in the morning. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I open my eyes. One thing my father said to me before he passed, he was just like, if music is really where your heart is, and if that's really what you want to do, then make sure that that's something that you are actively working on day to day. So for me, if it's getting on YouTube and I'm doing an hour's worth of vocal exercises, or I'm writing a song or whatever, like, my thing has always been work at your craft if that's what you're passionate about. The best advice I would give anybody that wants to do music, if that's what feeds your oats, if you will, then do that, because everybody needs something to live for. What gives me the most satisfaction is when someone who appreciates my art comes to me and says, your song made me get off drugs. Your song, helped me to realize, like, I don't need anybody else to love me. I have myself. Funny story. It was in CVS, and I was with my mom, and a girl walked up to me and she said, you sing that By Myself song. And she's just like, my husband used to beat the out of me. And because of that song, like, I left him. So those things, like, that's when I knew, like, okay, I'm doing this for the right reasons. This is bigger than me. This is not about me at all. How many times will you play the fool for love? Giving all your trust just to end up with all or nothing. Thank you.
So you wrote that?
I wrote that. If your daughter wants to do music, you support her in that.
Oh, no.
You support her in that, because she's gonna need that.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, now. No, not ever. Forever.
You like going to therapy?
I love going to therapy because I can say the things that I say in my mirror to an actual person. I wake up in the morning and I'll be like, you are the like, you are the I said this to one of my friends recently about an incident where someone stole my gig. It wasn't even about the gig, so to speak.
From before?
From before, yeah. It wasn't even about the gig. That's part of it. But the biggest part is you get them calls. You get them calls I don't get. I got to fight with these people about a gig.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. At first, I thought it was, personal shit. That ain't it. I thought, because I told you about the incident where dude was like, oh, you're too dark. I'm not finna let you, like, you got to look a certain type of way. I thought it was that. That ain't it. So I don't know what it is, but somebody,
really said that to you?
like, I've gone through the ringer. So when I say this stuff, like, I don't just be making this up. Like, I really be living this shit. Woke up this morning, it was Father's Day. Tough to believe that I still feel away. I never thought you would leave so soon. No, not ever. Forever. So you see what I mean? Like, I was thinking, like, we could do it like they used to do it in the 90s. Something like that.
I see what you're trying to go in. What if you did just like a low note stack?
Okay.
Right? On this one.
Okay.
Second hook.
Now, second hook is going to switch up.
Second hook.
It's going to catch you.
Yeah, every hook has to change.
Okay.
It's a progressive thing. So, we could do like a low note on this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second hook, we keep the low note, but we'll add the background harmonies, right?
On the second one, okay.
Right. Make it more, try to make it more airy if you could.
Okay, so like give you Janet on that. Give you a whisper.
Yeah.
Okay. Forever. I came in and you were like, oh hell, here we go, we got more songs. So the thing is, I just have felt like the album was never really done. Like I said it was done, but I was like, I still have another piece of this story. And I was like,
damn, you got 9 tracks, bro.
so I can promise you this, after these, that's it. Because next record
for the last 2 years, bro.
Like,
Stop promising me that you gonna break every time, bro. You promised me that 2-3 years ago.
I promise you, after this is it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because next record is we partying. I told TJ I wanted that Tell Somebody record. That was lit. So that's kind of the direction I want to go on the next record.
Though, but...
Well, I mean, like, you know, it's a do. Like, I want, you know, feel good songs on the next one.
Okay, I feel you. But, you know.
But I will tell you.
I love this.
So you like the emotional.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Because there's a record that we haven't done. Like I said, I'm almost done with it. It's called Back to the Streets. And so I think that's something that most people can relate to. It's like, okay, like, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. So let me go back to the streets so I can be a I'm going to be out there with your friends.
No, you can't put a promise on tomorrow. There's a chance that you may not be here. Daddy, I told you I loved you. I see Wednesday, but Wednesday never came. Said that you'd be leaving forever.
You have the pre-hook, right? And then after the pre-hook, they look so good. I gotta go get some at the grocery store. Okay, so here's what I heard. So on the hook, you have, I know that you said that you'd be leaving, but you didn't say forever. And then you have, I never thought that you would leave. I thought you'd be, whatever that part is. And then you have the lead that comes back in with forever. And then whatever the ending is gonna be. Mm-hmm. So that's what I heard in my head, but we got to do that takeover because that was trash.
Right there?
Yeah.
That background going with that?
So what I thought of was taking out the
Nah.
So the part I was thinking about taking out was the I never thought that you would leave so soon. No, not ever. That's when it's gonna come back in the no, not on the no, not ever.
I remember nights of playing Jeopardy. All the life lessons you instilled in me. Show me everything that I'm meant to be.
When I tell you that is my
That's your favorite joint on the album?
that is my like generally I don't have a favorite, but End of My Rope is my favorite. It just feels good.
Sunrose, I just knew
Hey.
I'd wake up next to you. Instead, I open my eyes to accept what I already knew. And year after year of rejection, still trying to give you my heart. Became someone else
This is it.
in the overdraft, couldn't buy your own. Gave me a burn that'll never heal. Look at these scars.
I'm trying not to add song after song after song, but see, the thing is, like, I didn't think we were done. I didn't think I was done, because I thought after I wrote Into My Rope, I was like, okay, I'm done here. But then it was like, kept happening, and I was like, all right, this is good Like, let's put this on the record. The title of the album is My Life, A Soul Without a Heart. So this is just a segment of my life. But if we go,
like 56 songs.
This is true. Like, we did record a lot of songs.
It's
But
like bad songs, bro.
The thing is, I guess my thing was, if we're gonna sing about it,
Chris Brown, if Chris Brown can do it,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if Chris Brown can do 40 records, why can't I? If we're gonna call the album "My Life Anything," like we have to sing about every aspect of it. We're singing about this relationship that's no longer existent. We're singing about heartbreak. We're singing about my daddy. We're singing about sex. We're singing about this record is that emotional roller coaster. And if I never made another record, like I could say when we record these last two records, like I'll be happy with what this is. If I never did another record, like I'd be comfortable with what this is.
Got you, man.
Or maybe I'm hopelessly dreaming, acting impulsively with my low self-esteem. With you is where I wanna be.